There is no future, there is no past. Thank God this moment's not the last.
Hey there, it's Erica. So, today is Sunday. The date, let me check on my handy-dandy phone, is November 11th. I would love to be out volunteering with my partner and my friends for this sort of second weekend of volunteering after Hurricane Sandy, but unfortunately I threw out my back yesterday helping to volunteer in Long Beach. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I'm very much aware, since volunteering in relief efforts with Hurricane Sandy, very largely with the Occupy Hurricane Sandy relief contingency, that the idea of Tikkun Olam, to repair the world, is very different for me now. Until working with the elderly, the very low-income people that I've worked with, led into the 12th floor walk-up of a completely dark apartment with an old woman from the Caribbean who hadn't flushed her toilet in 7 days, just seeing the amount of devastation, the desperation in people's eyes, the grief in their eyes, watching my friend yesterday, helping my friend rather, throw away 40 years of her family's history into words how I'm feeling. I can't put into words what I've experienced. I can't put into words or express in any way the situation other than to say, if you're not there, if you're not experiencing it, if you haven't gone out, even just for one day, the news, the newspapers, what people are telling you can't compare to what is actually happening in the communities of Long Beach, Long Island, Far Rockaways, Coney Island, Brighton Beach, Staten Island, New Jersey. I can't even imagine what New Jersey is going through. Ambivalence is the word. A sort of ambivalence of people who haven't experienced the devastation of this hurricane, and the idea that there is no need or there isn't a requirement to go into action to do the work of Tikkun Olam because other people are doing that work. And I completely admit, I know that because of the 4 days straight I spent in Far Rockaway and seeing those people and being in that community for over 9 hours, 8 hours a day working, that I have my blinders up. I know that I'm very, very much focused on what's happening to these people and how I can help. And I know that I'm hypersensitive to people who haven't been there and who sort of feel like the work is getting done, and knowing, at least when I was there a week ago, knowing that the work was only being done by grassroots people, Doctors Without Borders, Occupy Sandy Relief, community leaders, knowing that those types of things were happening definitely put me on the defensive. But on a more positive note, it's helped me to be more aware as not only a Jew, but as a person, and to be aware of my responsibility to help other people, and to be aware of my situation, and to be aware of the words that I use. The nor'easter came in a few days ago, and I was outside and I was thinking it was cold outside. I was aware of the fact that 63,000 people approximately still had no heat, still had no electricity. And while I was cold waiting for the bus, I got to get on a warm bus, and I got to come to my warm apartment, and I got to have a warm meal. Whereas other than the food that Occupy Sandy Relief and in areas FEMA and the Red Cross have been giving to these people, they've not eaten warm food in 7 days. They don't have a warm apartment to go into. So the situation has made me incredibly grateful and thankful for what I have, and incredibly mindful of my language and of my words, incredibly mindful of who a stranger is and my responsibility to that stranger, and incredibly mindful of the obligation of Tikkun Olam. So, how do we engage as Jews with Tikkun Olam? Is it something that we say? Is it something that is in our mission statements? Is it something that we put on our websites? Is it something that we think about? Or is it something that we actually do? And this video and all of my website posts and all of my Facebook posts isn't to shake a finger at you and say your idea of Tikkun Olam is wrong, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. It's just to bring a mindfulness and awareness of how we can really, as Jews, engage with Tikkun Olam. It doesn't mean that, instead of having this meal, or instead of having this work day, I'm going to give up my work day, I'm going to give up my pay, and I'm going to go volunteer somewhere, and that's my tzedakah. Or just to encourage, rather, people who haven't been able to give time to volunteer in any of these communities, an open invitation to do that volunteer work. Whether you do that volunteer work with Occupy Sandy Relief, whether you do that volunteer work with your community, whether that means you decide amongst yourself, amongst your group of friends, that, we're going to not have a giant Thanksgiving dinner this year. We're going to instead take those ingredients and figure out how we can give our ingredients to a family who won't have Thanksgiving dinner. It could just mean listening to people like myself and like the thousands and thousands of amazing volunteers who've been volunteering their time, their money, their mental and physical capacity to help these other people, and listening to their stories with sincerity. And it can mean, and it's completely valid and wonderful, going online to the Occupy Sandy Relief website, or to the FEMA website, or to the Red Cross website, or to whichever website you choose, and making a donation for this relief effort. Thankfully, thank God, Baruch Hashem, the lights are coming on in a lot of different places. I was actually with my friend's family yesterday as we were mucking out. Like I said, 40 years. Her father has lived in this house for 41 years, so 41 years of memories as we were mucking out this stuff and standing in ankle-deep water and throwing away her life and her parents' lives. The lights came on, and the joy in her mother and father's face at having lights after 10 days of being in the cold and being in the dark on Long Beach was a blessing for me. And I'm blessed to be able to help the people that I helped. I threw out my back, and I don't care, because I feel blessed to have been able to help that family, and I've been blessed to help the families that were strangers to me who aren't strangers anymore because I've helped them. So I will close with an invitation, as I said, to help in any way that you can, to share this video with whomever you can, to write checks to whomever you can, but to really do the work of Tikkun Olam, to really work on repairing the world, especially in the New York, New Jersey, and surrounding areas that are still, I repeat, and I will say it again, don't listen to everything that you're being told. While a lot of people are finding relief, there are thousands of people who are still completely devastated and will be devastated for weeks, months, if not years to come. So thank you for taking the time to read all of my blog posts about all of the work that I've been doing personally. Please read other people's blog posts. Please go to the websites, I keep saying Occupy, but because I've been helping Occupy, I'm going to go for it. Just go to the Occupy website, look at the pictures, look at the stories. There are lots of Tumblrs up, there are amazing videos that are up. People keep posting every single day. Just do what you can. Thank you for watching. Live Tikkun Olam.